sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regrets. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
Oh, we're live. It's the last party of the weekend. It's the Halloween show. And so we have some special guests on today. Let me bring everybody back into the studio, unmute all the mics. We have Holly Ann, we have Smiley, and from the podcast Dos Pequeños, we have Eric Carter Landine and Alex.
Hi everybody.
Welcome. So first of all, we gotta clear up. Everyone knows Smiley, like apparently. You guys all know Smiley.
Yep. Yeah, I know Smiley from way back. Yeah.
Because, like,
hey everyone.
I brought you guys up and he's like, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, we all know him. He doesn't know us though, man.
He doesn't know. Let's see here.
You had to give me some reference. You didn't give me enough reference.
Yeah.
I said you worked with them at the hotel that you worked at. What more?
Okay, but everyone would say that every single time I said I worked there. They'd be like, "Oh, that's one of 300 people." Sure, I probably saw him in the dressing room.
Okay,
but we all worked in the same restaurant, so that was
yes,
that was the thing.
There was only one Alex there, so.
So, question: what was it like working? Because Smiley's told us stories, but what's the real story working with James? I mean, what was that like? You know,
it was awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved it. He's always kept me very entertained, especially at work.
Okay.
The kid, he knows lots of music, and me and him really just like melded when it came to talking about music and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
So.
He would always. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say you can always count on Smiley just say like the weirdest, most random shit sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it would totally just make you laugh or freak you out or whatever.
That's awesome. Because like he always tells stories, and like the thing with James is he'll tell a story that's quite a whopper, and you're like, okay, and then it's always true. You're just like, all
right. Fact check his ass; it'll come out right, man.
So you guys host the show Dos Pequeños, which is a local New Mexico comedy ghost podcast. So what?
Paranormal.
Yeah, paranormal. Sorry, I don't want to. I live in an old building. I don't want to upset anyone anywhere. Anyhow, so tell us where that all started from.
Well, I actually feel bad. I shouldn't probably take this down.
No, leave it up. We'll talk about it. We're
going to talk about that too.
Yeah. I have another podcast, and Alex had been a guest on it a couple of times, and we just had a really good vibe. We've always got along. We've known each other for probably close to 20 years now. And I had wanted to do something like this. And when I was talking to Alex about it, he kind of got excited, and we started kind of planning it out, and it all just kind of came together. And it's been a really good partnership. I'll let Alex talk about it too, but I really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun, and it's cool. I'm into weird shit, and both of my podcasts are pretty weird. So...
Oh, before we get anywhere, I want to correct something that you guys. I was listening to one of your shows. I was listening to the Press Club one. It's the Wellesley House.
Wellesley House.
What did I say?
Well, you guys.
It's probably me.
No, both of you. You're like you didn't
call it Weasel House or something.
No, you called it the W House because you couldn't pronounce it, but it's the Wellesley House.
Oh,
yeah.
And I actually can't wait to talk to you guys about your adventures at the Press Club, because I worked there.
You did, yeah.
And had to close it by myself many nights, so I have stories.
Oh, I want to hear all of them.
But yeah, go ahead, Alex. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What was I going to say?
You were going to talk
about the show.
Oh, yeah, it worked out well. I think that it's a really cool idea because I come at all this from a very skeptical point of view. I really don't believe in all that. And he comes at it from a very much of a believer point of view. And I really enjoyed learning some of the history that's just involved with all of it. So it's been a blast.
Yeah. And I haven't listened to it yet, but there's a guy that I've done podcasts around. We haven't done a podcast together, but Ben Radford, that guy's something else, man. Like he's like the foremost, like now that I can't think of the guy's name who just died, but now go ahead.
Oh God, what's his name, man? Randy.
Yeah, the amazing Randy. And now that he passed away, like I think Ben Radford is like the foremost skeptic, guy that he pretty much debunks. And he lives here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I haven't looked at it yet.
It was amazing to be able to have an interview with him and just kind of pick his brain for a little bit. He's a really interesting guy, and I really like the way he thinks about all those things.
Yeah, and he does a show called Squaring the Strange.
Yeah,
and he's something else.
Alex and I were texting each other during the interview when we were like, "Oh my God, dude, this is so cool!" It was just interesting to hear his take and his approach to things. He's just such a smart guy, and it was really a lot of fun talking to him.
Yeah, it was an easy interview. It was just fluid.
Well, yeah, I mean, he talks to he's used to doing it. He does like CNN. He does his History Channel. Like he does all kinds of shit.
I was really lucky to get him on the show. Oh, yeah, I really was.
I follow him, and he sends people will send him like death threats and stuff, and he'll post it, and you're just like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah,
I haven't got that first death threat yet.
I'm waiting.
I've gotten 3.
Wow. We'll get there.
I have gotten a cease and desist. I have crossed that off my list. And
I haven't gotten any death threats yet. You've gotten 3?
No,
yeah. I've had 3.
I got a cease and desist, and the organization no longer exists. So I guess I won.
Well,
yeah. You can continue now.
I get so the weirdest death threat I think I've gotten so far is just somebody who's followed me since before I came on this podcast. And then they started listening to the podcast and they heard some opinion about something that isn't political. I don't even remember what his opinion was, but he would send me death threats like every day for weeks.
Cool.
And then I called the cops on him, and now he doesn't do that anymore.
Damn.
A totally stable guy.
Yeah.
He's really nice.
Well, is it one of those things, like you get one like every day? You got a death threat every day, and then finally they stop, and you're kind of like, I hope he's okay.
He just couldn't find a way to be creative anymore with them. He was just like, well, shit, I don't know. What else can you say that already hasn't been said?
All the word template death threats ran out.
Yeah.
Or he's just stalking me now. I don't know.
Great. Get those bars in the window.
So you guys basically got together. You were like, because Eric does True Consequences, which is in the background there. So you guys were like, let's do a paranormal one. I mean, is there any kind of paranormal thing in your background that you were like, I totally, had this happen to me, either one of you, that like, now I want to do this kind of podcast?
Who wants to go first, you or me?
I mean, okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
I mean, horror stuff and ghosts and all that fun stuff always kind of interested me. I was really into the Misfits and all that kind of horror punk back in the day. And so it kind of fell into my lap, but I've only had a couple of weird instances, but I think I can explain things away. I think the one real big thing that happened to me, I think that could be attributed to sleep paralysis. And then the other one, I just really don't know, which was I saw a really big bright light in the sky in Colorado in the middle of nowhere, and it just got bigger and bigger. And it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I ran in to get somebody to be like, come look at this. And it was already gone. But I don't know. I mean, nothing crazy. I want to see something. That's my thing, is that I kind of want to see some proof that, I want to see that there is maybe life after death, or a Sam Squanch, or, aliens or something.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was kind of forced into this. My parents, I remember being 3 years old. My parents let me watch Poltergeist.
Oh yeah.
And then
clown doll, man.
Yeah, that and then my dad's like, oh, now you like that, so let's watch Children of the Corn. And then he used to chase me around the house like with his eyelids flipped off. Malachi. Yeah,
you too, Malachi.
Yeah, yeah. So that's always kind of been part of things that I've been into since I was little. In the library, I'd always gravitate towards the UFO books or the Bermuda Triangle or anything that was just weird and unexplainable. And then in terms of like personal experiences, I've had some dreams come true, which has been really spooky. Very specific, like creepy stuff. And I can talk about that later or whatever, but it's weird.
Eric, you and I have like opposite like trajectories. Because my parents did the same thing. My mom, I watched Aliens. I watched, all the Nightmare on Elm Street when they came out. I watched Poltergeist, and I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with that shit, man.
I watch a horror movie almost every single night.
Oh, serious?
Like no joke, dude. I seriously watch one almost every single night.
Okay, so the second hour. So we started this last week. In the second hour, we call it. It's like our wavy hour, and we're going to talk more about scary movies.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I got a list from Crystal.
All right. I watched 2 this week, so I just want to let you know I watched 2 that are supposed to be the scariest movies of all time, and I want to let people know.
Oh shit!
So that's teased for the second hour, so come back to that.
Okay.
Anything from our lists that we gave to you?
No. But in a way, no, it's fine. It's fine. You like.
No one wants to hear about your movie, Smiley.
Yeah, fuck you.
He asked us last week to tell him recommendations, and apparently he was like, "Yeah, no."
Well, because I have a lady friend, and sometimes I don't get to choose things.
Okay, fair enough.
It's called life. I'm just kidding, but
I don't live that.
So, Eric, have you had like a ghost experience, like Alex?
I haven't had a ghost experience, but like I said, I did have some dreams come true. One in particular was my parents had separated when I was like 6 years old. Okay. And when I was about 22, I started having these weird feelings that I needed to find my uncle. And it kind of came out of nowhere. And I had a dream that same week that my mom, my dad, and I were in a hotel room having a conversation. And I remember every detail. Like I remember the bedspread and the carpet and the way it smelled and everything in the dream. And probably within 4 days of having that dream, I told my mom about it. She said, "It's never going to happen. I hate your dad. He's an asshole, whatever." And then suddenly my dad reached out to me out of nowhere, called me and said my uncle was dying. And we all ended up in the same town, in the hotel that I dreamt about, with the same bedspread, with the same carpet. It was insane.
Wow.
Premonitions.
That is pretty eerie right there.
Yeah. It freaked me out.
Have you foreseen like nuclear weapons flying out of anywhere and explosions?
Yeah, can you let us know ahead of time?
No, it's funny that you mentioned that though. I was coming back from a work trip this week and I was on Google Maps, navigating back, and there was a big thing on the side of the road, and I looked at Google Maps and it said missile silo. I'm like, I don't think that's supposed to be labeled.
It's over here.
if it is, it's old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a bunch of those all over New Mexico that, like, for people who live outside of New Mexico, you will be driving along and there's a lot of New Mexico that is perfectly flat, like Kansas. And all of a sudden there's a perfectly symmetrical hump.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is, missile silo. Okay. Yeah. Cool. No, those are,
I guess I've never spotted one of those before.
Really? Oh no.
I guess I've never.
If you go down near Los Alamos or, yeah, pretty much in that area. There, I guess they're like we blew them up around here. Why don't we just put some more?
Just keep them.
Fuck them, man.
No, they're just decoys.
Maybe we do. Maybe we don't have them.
Maybe that's a real missile silo. Who knows? It's a decoy.
Maybe it's not.
I know there's rumors about some missiles being stored in the Sandia Mountains. I've heard that rumor several times, but I don't know.
So. Yeah.
I will talk off the air.
In there?
Okay.
But so yeah, then I've done Eric show True Consequences, and we did talk about a ghost story that I had. Did you think that was a terrible one? I mean, I don't know how you felt about that.
No, I thought it was cool. I mean,
that was the moment that, like, so I grew up around a mom who believes in the supernatural. We had wind chimes in our house, not outside of our house, but inside of our house. She would collect wind chimes because wind chimes supposedly, when the spirits come through, they'll hit them, and activate them. And for me growing up, I was, always very skeptical. And should I tell that story? I've told the story before.
Yeah, tell it. I want to hear it.
So my old co-host Billy Belmont and I and our friend Candace, we were all partying downtown at the Blackbird Buvette, which is no longer around. It's now the Red Door downtown. And on Sunday nights, we would often party there, and we would run into the owners, and they would be like, "Oh, it's almost midnight on Sunday. You have to go out on the back so we can lock the door and kick everyone else out and keep drinking." Which the place is no longer there, so it's you can't bust them. So we were there partying till like super late, like 3 or 4 in the morning on a Sunday night, and because we were not there legally, we couldn't go out the front door. So when we went to leave, they're always like, "Yeah, just go out the back," and it's a push open gate. And so Billy, Candace, and I walk and push open the gate, and immediately to the right, next to like a big grease trap out in the alley, a guy like gets startled and he like jumps up.
Oh yeah, I remember. I did. Yeah, I remember you telling. I think it was Get Vocal. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and so
this is a good story.
He starts walking away down the alley, so we're kind of like walking behind him, and none of us can remember exactly what he looked like. And so he's walking about 10 feet in front of us. He's not far, but we're far enough behind him where we're not messing with him. And then we get to the end of the alley, and he turns left. And I mean, we're right behind him, and then we turn left as well, and he's completely fucking gone. And if you go in that alley, I could show you. There's no way he could have like ran, sprinted.
There's no place to go right there.
Nowhere to go. And all of us stop, and like we're like, where the fuck did that guy go? And we're immediately all just like, what the shit? And that is the only time in my life that like something crazy like that has happened. And I know it doesn't. Like, everybody's like, well, he ducked away. You couldn't. You can't. He would have had to have like something would have had to have grabbed him and pulled him out of the, off the ground and up into the sky.
Maybe he got abducted by aliens.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I've seen some shit downtown. I've seen some shit.
I live
think
downtown.
We all have.
We're working off of 4th Street and then right off of 1st and then living in Barelas, man. Like I've seen some shit downtown.
Yeah.
No, you're not kidding.
I mean, are we all telling ghost stories now?
Do it.
I can tell some
Get it
ghost stories.
So
when I
Halloween
first started, sorry. When I first started working at Press Club, I was not a skeptic, but I was on the fence. I was like, I believe these things can happen, but it's never happened to me, so I don't know. And of course, when you first start working there, everybody tells you that you have to, when you walk in to open, you have to say hi to the building. And when you leave, you have to say bye. And if you don't, you can make them mad. Yeah, it's just polite. So I would do it out of respect for everybody, just in case.
Yeah.
And the first time I had to close completely alone, no regulars stayed with me, nobody else was working. Up at the top, if you've ever been to Press Club, above all the liquor, there's a bunch of weird shit on the shelves, and it's from, I mean, I don't even know everything that's up there, but there's no air conditioning vents up there. There's nothing that could have been up there, and 4 wiffle balls that are up top hit me and fell around me while I was trying to close. And I said, okay, all right, like, I get it. But then I tried to explain it away. I was like, well, maybe the building shifted. Maybe there was a mouse up there. Like, right. I'm not going to lose my mind. So I started having one of my favorite regulars stay with me after that night, because obviously that's terrifying. So a couple of weeks later, this is when I became a total believer in ghosts. I was closing down. There had been a huge party. And oftentimes drunk people will get stuck in Press Club because there's different levels, there's weird doors. And I heard coughing, and I thought there was a person stuck in the bar. So I start walking around and I can't find the person. And so I asked the regular, did somebody walk through here? They had to have walked through here. They had to have walked through here because I can't find them anywhere. There was nobody. So I said, okay, that's enough. I don't want to play this game. I'm tired of your bullshit. And the big metal door between the bar and the stairs that go downstairs slammed really hard. And I said, okay, I'm sorry. I was mean. And that's when I started leaving gin on the bar.
Okay. I was going to ask if you were leaving gin. Yeah.
Yep. I did it that night. There was other things too. Like there was a spirit there that was black and would scare us. It was like you almost walked through him. That's how thick he was.
Wow.
But if you left gin for the bar, I swear that stuff wouldn't happen. So
Would it be gone the next day?
it would.
Really?
What happens if you leave tequila?
I wasn't about to try.
The
There was
popcorn machine is just overflowing.
The ghost is all.
Didn't
The ghost
get
is all.
cut.
I was not here last night, man. Not here last night, man.
There was a bartender who would leave her whiskey instead because she felt like she wouldn't have had gin at the time that the bar was open. And there were no complaints there. So
Yeah, you guys were talking. I was listening to the episode where you guys were talking about the press club. Have you guys been since you talked about it?
No.
No, everything's shut down. It's like as soon as we started the show, pretty much everything really shut down. So we had some good plans. Like we were going to go on like ghost hunts and take fans with us and stuff, and it just kind of shut it down. So we're like, we'll just stick to the podcast, you know.
So the press club, it's funny because like when you guys describe the press club, it's pretty hilarious. You're like the top floor is the first floor. It's not. It's totally not. But you do talk about like how it like has weird like half upper floor. Yeah. It kind of does, yeah. But I
only went there one time and I was trashed. So I really don't remember much of it other than the bar and the front entrance, like the front entryway.
Well, it has the floor that you walk into is the middle.
Okay.
And then the bar you walk down to. It is weird. And then there's like a lower level where it has a kind of like a living room and then a pool table room.
Right.
And that goes out onto the back deck. But then there's also like, I don't know if you guys knew this, and I didn't hear the whole episode, but like there's apartments that they also own that people live in, which fuck that. I'm not
the apartments are fine. The scariest part of Press Club, honestly, to me, is the poker room. Which is upstairs. And when you're in there by yourself at night closing up, that is the most terrifying place to go. And sometimes the light would turn back on after I turned it off.
No longer the poker room.
What was scary about it? Was it just like kind of the feeling of dread kind of a thing?
Yeah, there was like a really heavy feeling in there, but also, you know, some nights you would have to turn the lights off in there 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. That's now the podcasting room.
Get the clapper, man. Clap on that shit. Clap off.
So something important.
You guys should go do the podcast in there. I'm telling you.
That'd be sweet. Yeah. So something important to know about our show and about Alex and I is we don't fucking know anything about anything.
No, not at all.
No, you say that, but I laughed. I was laughing. I was like laughing through the whole thing. I was like, this is great.
Yeah. Neither one of us knows shit.
Welcome to the sister show of that. We're like, fuck, I don't know.
And we embrace it. We embrace it. We're like, we don't know.
That's why it works, though.
Yeah.
We say, hey, we don't know. We're dumbasses.
So I was on the board. I was on the board for a year. And, you know, they definitely like, it's weird because like I never saw ghosts, but they talk about ghosts constantly. And the thing about that place is you were hitting it on the head. You had the history down. And like the thing is like they did sell it to like a fraternity, and like they still have like some of the paddles and stuff.
And we have a bat behind. Well, when I worked there was a bat from the fraternity that we would pull out and sometimes hit the bar if you were being annoying. But that was still there from.
It's an interesting, And like the other thing too is like it's really old and like it's starting to like shift off the foundation, like down the hill. Oh yeah, there's a ton of like craziness. So it's one of those old buildings. I really feel like, so the house next door, the Wellesley Foundation house, like, you know, it's a weird thing where they like do money back and forth and try to, you know, preserve it. And like within the next 10 years, I think they're really going to have to like do something and keep it from sliding that, because it's a weird. Like also, I don't know if you guys knew this. It's the restaurant in the movie Beer Fest.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No shit.
They show it, and like it took me forever. I was like, "Where is that?"
I think I watched the first 10 minutes of that movie, man, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like Broken Lizard. That wasn't Broken Lizard's best, you know.
It's fantastic. I thought
it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
What was the island one? I thought that shit was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was good too. Yeah.
Pinot Lope, remember?
Yes. My favorite thing is like all the records
Club
from
Dread.
Club Dread. There it is.
sea shanties and wet panties.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's fucking yeah. So Smiley, you gotta have like 19 ghost stories.
You know he does, man.
Yeah. Oh, I got a bunch.
He's got one sitting with him right now.
Well, I don't know. I used to live in a haunted house. That was fun.
Of course you did.
On purpose.
No. Found out later.
Was it that spot that you lived with your brother?
No. I lived there with.
That place was
yeah.
creepy as fuck.
Wait, I lived. No, I lived. The place on Wellesley, or.
There's that name again. How come we couldn't say that in our fucking podcast? Dude?
I don't know.
Seriously, we couldn't say Wellesley.
I think because of the way it's spelled. It's really spelled weird. The only reason I know how to say it is because they constantly brought it up in the meetings. So
there's a fucking T in the word. Like there's a goddamn T in the word.
What?
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
It stressed me out.
Well, there's the last place I worked at. That place was totally haunted. The old art bar.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'll agree on that.
Yeah, that place is nuts.
So it's on the corner of Gold and Second.
Yeah.
And so
It has that weird ticker tape right above it.
Yes. No, it doesn't. That's gone. They took that.
That's gone now?
So it's across the street from the Box Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the art bar, and then it was the wine dive. It was Jazz Bar one time. So I'll agree on that, because like James and I did 10 drink minimum there for a year. And every single person that worked there was like, "Oh yeah, there's some crazy shit happening in this building." But that's an old building too. I mean, it's
now I want to go in there.
I mean, you could probably open a restaurant there. They have all the stuff already for you.
Well, I don't want to open a restaurant. I just want to be haunted.
Like when they opened the wine dive, I walked into the wine dive and it looked exactly like the art bar. And I was like, "Man, looks like you guys did a lot of work here." And by work, I mean you turn the lights on. Cool.
Good job at that.
Good job. Because it was
Now I
all
can
the
see.
same furniture, all the same shit. I was like, this is hilarious. But no, that place I'm pretty sure was haunted. But I never saw anything. But
Oh, for sure. Well, no, it'd be like things like the lights upstairs would go on.
mm-hmm.
Except the only way to turn the lights upstairs on is to go upstairs and turn them on.
Oh, you're talking
no
about
one-
in that attic area.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went up there once.
And like you have to climb like a ladder to get up there. And I was like, no one's. We're in the middle of a busy shift. No one is climbing a ladder.
You're all. I need some more copper mugs for Moscow Mules. Go away.
Why are the ghosts always just fucking with the light switches?
We don't have any.
They're
Because
just like, oh.
They're like
Or
simpletons, afraid of lights.
Yeah.
Well, okay, one of the weirdest one is there's a drinking water valve next to one of the ice machines. Hot water doesn't actually link up to it, and it was just spewing out hot water one day.
Huh.
There's no hot water valve for it. And we're all, what is going on here? It's pouring out like hot water from the drinking water thing. It's not even connected to hot water.
That sounds like a demon to me.
Totally.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, and of course, it's a restaurant, so you're pragmatic. Well, just use the other one then. Stop using the one that's shooting boiling water out. Use that for tea instead.
Right. Why did you quit your last job? Ghost told me to.
They said it was time
Getting out, and I said,
time
okay.
to change it up.
So Eric, I am kind of fangirling a little bit, not to take away from Dos Spookqueños, but I am a true crime crazy person,
Dun,
and
dun.
I listen to your True Consequences quite a bit. Do
Thank
you
you.
think your experiences? I literally have binged almost every episode at this point,
Wow.
so I'm crazy. But do you think maybe your experiences from when you were young is what makes you believe that like the paranormal and supernatural stuff exists? So your little brother and all that stuff, do you think that plays into your belief in that stuff?
Well, can you tell like what she's talking about? Like,
Oh yeah.
Well,
do that?
it's a total bummer. So
I know. I was like, I don't want to bring it up, but I feel like it's pertinent.
Well,
yeah.
but it feeds like there's a reason why Eric does true crime. I mean, the
Yeah.
true crime show, and I mean, people should go check out his show. And
Absolutely.
but there's a reason why.
Yeah, so when I was 6 years old, my brother was brutally murdered by my stepfather. He was a baby. And then there were several years of insane physical and all kinds of other abuse and stuff. And I don't want to bring down the vibe of the entire show tonight, but that's the gist of it. And it's possible that definitely played a role in me kind of seeking out something to bury myself in or to hide in. And I think like the idea of unexplained paranormal stuff was an easy escape from the daily horrors of life.
Right.
So I think that there's definitely some of that. I think some of my experiences, like when I have the dreams that come true or, things like that happen, those things kind of solidify that for me. And I don't necessarily feel like I'm 100% a believer, because as we went through Dos Spookqueños, we started to see there was a lot of flimsy truths around a lot of these legends and stuff like that.
Right.
But I do think there's more to this giant universe than we can see and than we understand. And I think the chance that there's actually intelligent life somewhere else is probably pretty high. The chance that there is any kind of life in other planets is very high, I think. But I think you're right. I think that does play into my curiosity about weird stuff and sometimes morbid stuff. And it's good insight.
He gets dark with it, man.
So,
Well, I'm the
It's
same way.
dark.
So I had a lot of things happen to me when I was a kid. And I think that's why when I was a kid, I wanted there to be ghosts. I wanted there to be something beyond. And I think that's also why I'm into true crime is a couple weeks ago, I talked about a case and I got attacked because they were like, I didn't like a Netflix documentary. And they were like, why? Because you want graphic details. And I said, no, I want like justice. I want the details of the case, not, somebody's opinion on it. So I think when you have a lot of weird stuff happen when you're a kid, it leads you to want to find the truth behind things.
Well, yeah, and I think you want to understand, like I want to understand why people like my former stepfather are the way that they are, why they do the things that they do. And so, yeah, I think that's definitely a big part of it. And true crime's always been there along with the ghosts and the aliens and all the other stuff for me as well. So, yeah.
Whoa, a door just shut in my house.
It's a ghost.
I'm serious. The door just shut in my house.
Yeah, I heard it.
You're serious?
Yeah. I don't know where, but I'm going to look real quic.
Okay. Please do.
Is it one of your neighbors? They're kind of crazy. I've met them.
I've met them.
Oh my gosh.
There's a smoking area behind his house, but I've learned to go smoke in the front.
Where it's safe.
Yeah. The front seems less
Where-
ominous
where-
to me.
There might be some street people, but they're less weird than his neighbors.
It's creepy. It's like I don't have a door that goes out to the street connected to my house. You have to actually go into my building to get into my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And a door just sounded like it shut and no doors are shut except the ones that are for the outside.
That's good timing.
Well, all
Are you
right.
sure it's not the wrestling team that lives above you?
No, that was happening all
Vlogging
weekend.
group. Yeah.
No, I live below a father who gets his children on the weekend, and he lives in a small, like,
Is that what happens?
15
Okay.
15 feet by 10-foot apartment, and it sounds like SummerSlam sometimes.
Yeah, they all got pogo sticks.
Man, that was creepy weird, man.
Just be happy we don't live above you, because our daughter likes to wrestle now.
Yeah.
It's like WrestleMania.
No. The guy has 3 kids. It's
It's a stomping parade.
well, it's a let's lift the couch, let's drop it. Let's lift the couch, let's drop it. Man, that was freaky as shit right there.
Did that freak your chili, Chris?
It did very much so.
Oh.
Now every noise is like. Eric, you host the show True Consequences.
Yeah,
and it's been quite the hit. So you've done the West Mesa Bone Collector.
Yeah.
And then you're going to talk about the Toy Box Killer. That hasn't come. You haven't done that one yet, right? That one.
that was number 1. That was the
That
first.
was
one.
Oh, that was the first episode.
Yeah.
So
How dare
that
you, Chris? Of course you did.
feel-
I'm just kidding.
Well, I didn't know if it was that. I don't. Oh, there it is. I see. Okay. So that one, man, like they based like the movie Saw off that guy.
He was a
He
nightmare.
was a sick individual.
He was a literal nightmare, and
Yeah.
I grew up in Socorro, and it's so close to TRC that when that happened, I remember, like, New Mexico, I feel like lost its innocence in that time, because we were watching this stuff happen with Ted Bundy and all these other killers around the country. That's something that happens in Oregon, or that's something that happens in California. It doesn't happen here.
Right.
And suddenly we find out this guy's been operating for 40 years.
Yeah.
And nobody knew. Like, it shook everybody, I think.
Well, and I feel like they don't even know how many people he killed.
They haven't found a single body.
Yeah.
And I doubt they will, because he had such intimate knowledge of like the landscape and stuff. And if you think about New Mexico, like, I hate to talk about it like this, but I'm attempting to write my very first book about killers in New Mexico. And one thing that's crazy about New Mexico is our landscape is perfect for a serial killer.
100 or a cult.
And that, or a cult.
Oh, we have those. We have those too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I lived in Estancia, New Mexico at one point, and there is a story up there about a guy who went missing, and they claim that his wife threw his body in the salt. What is it called? Like salt.
Oh, the
fields or
Salt Lake. Yeah.
Salt Lake up there. And
I've heard
I
about
didn't
this story,
know.
actually.
Yeah, like I met people who like knew him, because again, I'm a true crime weirdo, so of course I hear that story. And
Tell
I'm
me
like,
more.
I have to find this lady and meet her and act like I want to be her friend and just see how I feel. I think she totally killed her husband.
After her do Carol Baskin thing.
Nice.
Well, I want to know that one too.
we know that one.
We all know what happened.
That's obvious.
Clear.
So, Eric, I haven't listened to it yet, but you did one on the New Mexico prison riots.
Yeah.
What made you decide to do that one? I mean, that one's, what's the, the book's been, I've read the book of, it's brutal as shit.
Well, I think want to do it is a strong phrase.
Oh, but what's the true crime in that one? I mean, other than just telling a story, I guess.
Yeah. So actually, my friend Lydia, who has been a guest on the show a few times, she wanted to do it. She had researched it, and she presented most of that episode and tortured me and terrified me because it was just so gruesome. Yeah, it was bad.
Off, they cut the guy's balls off, stuck him in his mouth, put the one head
blowtorch. Yeah,
that's right. Burned the guy's out with the eyes out, right? And then they stuck the dude's head on a broom handle. A Saturday,
just like normal stuff.
It's just a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. No, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, so Lydia, that was her idea, and I let her run with it, and I think that might have been the first episode she did with me.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was. I learned a lot. I didn't know as much about that until she kind of schooled me on it, and she did. I think she did a good job. She was pretty thorough.
Like that's that's the one that they like. If you want to be a prison guard, you should maybe listen to your episode or read the book and go, okay, I still want to do it, or fuck this, you know.
Well, I worked in a jail, and during training, they would bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would talk about it, and I corrected the person teaching the class. So I was like, "Excuse me, that's actually not what happened."
Excuse me, they used a blowtorch and not a lighter on the.
I'm like, "You're downplaying this. I think the guards should know that, like, don't have a blowtorch near prisoners."
They didn't
Also-
kick him in the balls. They cut his balls off.
Also, don't have a snitch policy. That might be a good place to start.
Yeah. Also, that like maybe don't create an environment where maybe they feel like they should lose their mind.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever. You do you.
There was a lot of things that went wrong in that whole situation. You know, that's why that was why it was one of the worst riots that ever happened there. You know, in America. At least.
greatest
Depends on which way you're looking at it.
Right.
It was so great.
It's the goat.
That bad.
I mean, it is the greatest one that ever happened.
Right.
I have to be so careful because last week the last week when people got mad at me for like being into true crime, now I'm scared to say things like it was the greatest serial killer of all time. I'm like, I'm not a fan.
No.
You have to follow it up with, well, there are lessers.
There are.
There are some lesser
people
ones.
Way worse.
excel.
Well, that's why I think the show Mindhunter.
Mhm.
Is it Mindhunter? Yeah.
Mhm.
On Netflix, if you've never seen it. Like I'm not a big like true crime person or whatever, but like that show, like I was telling people, I was like, man, that show gives me the heebie-jeebies, and they're like, oh, is it gruesome? I go, well, it's all mostly just them interviewing, and they're like basically acting out the interviews that they interview the serial killers, and man, that is fucking terrifying sometimes what they say. You're just like, oh my god. And then what was the guy from the first season, the serial killer?
He was the first
His name is
Dang.
Anyway, like they're interviewing him, and then I've seen like the comparison to the real ones, and I mean,
he's so good. He's so
He
good.
yeah,
Awesome. He was spot on.
yeah. And I was like, but I mean, that makes it more terrifying. I'm like, that's really what the dude said to the fucking people, like.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen the show Mindhunter?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
It's
dude.
so good.
Have you watched Evil?
No, I've heard
Oh, yeah.
it's good though.
Yeah,
Ed Kemper.
I've
Ed Kemper.
started up. I've gotten a few episodes in, and I'm liking that one, man.
Was it Richard Beck?
It was Ed Kemper.
Ed Kemper.
Ed Kemper.
So
That's
Alex, if you've never seen it, it's a show about how they started the serial killer division of the FBI.
So
And-
like documentary style, or is it all?
No, it's
Okay.
it's like an actual like show, and they created the agents' names, but there were real people, and then they show the agents like they don't have the real people's names, but the actual real person
John Douglas.
went to Eastern New Mexico where I went to college.
Yeah.
And then he spoke there whenever I went to school there, and so they would interview serial killers, and they were like telling their the FBI higher ups, we need to like start focusing on these people, and they were like, no, they're not this isn't really a thing, and they were like, no, it is. And Ed Kemper was
because if you think about it, like in that time, that's probably unimaginable to them. So to us, it's like normal that serial killers exist, but back then it's like unimaginable that there are human beings who can,
murder a bunch of people.
So I don't know.
kill people.
I don't know anything here, but I'm pretty sure that John Douglas is the guy that wrote the book that the show is based off of, because it's about how he created this whole system of profiling serial killers, and before him, it didn't exist. You know, they called them spree killers. They didn't understand the psychology, and he got so good at it that he could just tell you, you know, he would go to all these other precincts and say, this is what your killer looks like. This is what they do.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
you know, it was amazing.
And like what their motivation was, and if they hated their mom, which he's just a genius. Like whoever, I don't know. I
But
don't know
he
what
went-
happened to him as a child, but it must have been terrible.
Well,
for
he
him
went to
figure all that out.
Eastern New Mexico University, and he was like, "Oh Jesus,
There you go.
everybody
That's what
here's a
happened.
killer. Everyone here's a killer." But he did though. That's where he went to school. I was like, "That's crazy weird," you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, my true crime obsession makes me think that certain people around me are serial killers. Like
Yeah.
all the time. I have a neighbor named Bruce. I used to have a neighbor at my apartment that I was pretty sure was a serial killer. But now I have a neighbor, he lives across the street from us, and he runs a halfway house. And he's also just bizarre and takes notes on everybody all day.
And he's
He's
watching
a
right now.
serial killer.
He's gonna save the world, I tell you.
And my whole family thinks I'm weird because I'm like interested in it, and I don't stalk him or anything, but I just keep an eye out when he walks down the street.
And he does the same for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does, honestly. But somebody asked me why I'm so interested, and I'm like, I'm excited to finally be that person in like a Netflix documentary about a serial killer. And I'll be the only person who won't be like, I didn't suspect a thing.
He wasn't
Like,
quiet
I
at
knew
all.
it.
I heard chainsaws constantly.
Did you watch the Chris Watts documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, that's what I got in trouble for.
Yeah.
So, but I was thinking like you want to be that friend that is like, something's wrong. I called the
Yes.
police right away.
Absolutely.
There was constantly power tools. He wasn't building on the house. I checked the records.
The carpet cleaning companies constantly coming over.
Everyone interviewed is like, oh, he was the nicest guy, and I just would never. And Holly Ann's like, no, I knew the entire time.
You know what's crazy is everybody in this neighborhood, so the people who own our house have lived here since they were children, and they grew up with him. He also lived here.
Mhm.
And then our other neighbor across the street, she grew up here, and they knew Bruce when he was a kid. And they said that his mom used to make him like wear a helmet all the time. And if he ever drives a car, he wears his helmet because he doesn't want to disappoint his mother.
Oh, 100% a serial killer.
Bruce, where are you going? I'm going to
Yeah.
go kill some cats, Mom. Put your
Man.
helmet on.
He puts his lipstick on.
That reminds me of someone I used to work with at where we used to work. I don't know if I should say the name of the place.
I say it all the time. It's just as long as you have no connections to it anymore, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it was the Hyatt. But
Yeah.
remember that guy that used to work with us that he would always ride a kind of a weird bike, always mean as hell too. He was like a cleaner at night.
Yes.
Oh my God, man. What was his
I know
name?
exactly who you're talking
Like
about.
a cleaner?
It sounds like who she's describing. Like he was
Was
always
his
like
name
watching
Bruce?
every. No, I wanted to say it was Jeff or something like that.
Oh,
What
my
apartment do you
neighbor
work-
that lived
Oh,
upstairs
Jeff.
at the apartment.
You know what I'm
His name
talking
was
about now?
Jeff.
You know what I'm talking about, Smiley?
No, I don't. But her neighbor's name was Jeff,
Oh shit!
It
Well, maybe
was.
that's
that they thought was a serial killer.
I am almost 100% sure he wasn't. If he wasn't a serial killer, he had prisoners in his apartment.
You
No,
just
no,
said what?
Not in his apartment, up in the ducting.
So I don't know. There was a lot of weirdness with Jeff, and I used to talk about him on the podcast all the time. And then it got like really weird with him. Like he looked in our windows one day, and we were laughing at him because
I wouldn't laugh at him.
Don't do it.
No,
You
yeah.
didn't
I
know he was
shouldn't
looking
have,
in through the
but
windows?
yeah.
I'd be like, "How are you doing today, Jeff? I hope it's well."
Well, after the day that I caught him like looking in the windows and saw us actively laughing at him, I was really nice to him.
Just actively pointing and
So
laughing.
Jeff,
That motherfucker.
there's the one we're talking about.
There he is.
Anyway, so now we'll know. I'll be like, well, she did tell us about this guy named Jeff.
Yeah.
It's either Jeff or Bruce if I go missing.
I feel like Jeff is not what his mom calls him. She probably calls him Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Kill them all, Jeffrey.
Or it's Joffrey.
Joffrey.
Bring through their skin faces, Jeffrey.
Oh my
I feel
god.
like we're getting to the door slam here in a second.
For sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Chris, did you not ask the building to be nice to you before you went in today?
No.
So
Did you
disrespectful,
say
man.
hi to the building when you went in?
Jeez, man, how many things have died in there? I've been in your building
Well,
before.
I don't
dude.
really count anymore. It's too much.
I threw myself out of the second story window.
Yeah, right.
I was on acid, but
No one here would be shocked at that. No one here. I don't know these guys that well, and yet something just
Not shocked.
I know.
Something
Smiley.
just what?
just tapped, like did like a tapping.
I heard that. Yeah.
I heard it.
What in the?
oh, maybe they hear me. Hi guys, I'm not there right now, but I want to say hi.
This is freaking.
I heard it again. There was something again. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Chris is
well.
on
And
too.
now I'm sad we're not in the studio because you know I live to be frightened.
Well, I'm
So-
not happy about it. I have to go to sleep tonight.
Well, you can just text me about it all night. I'm totally fine with that.
All right, that's you know,
Like,
sorry,
I'm not
sorry,
saying I
Ghost.
hope it escalates, but I hope it escalates.
I'm sorry. Ghost.
I just want to see like things flying around. You know,
I don't.
like
I don't at all.
So I'm not scared of ghosts, man. Like I don't think that ghosts can really harm you. You know, if it's anything paranormal, I'd be kind of afraid of. It'd probably be something like I don't know, little choop choops or
Skinwalker.
Skinwalker is fucking scary.
Oh, Skinwalker is terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, James is. Are you Danae? You're Danae, right?
Yeah,
Hey.
for sure.
Okay.
Just
So you guys do
want to
know
know my clans or anything, or you want to see my actual card?
So we used to have so we have James on the show, and then we used to have Billy, and they're both Danae, and they would tell stories other than Skinwalker stuff. Like, you know, there's also like many, you know that they can't look at a lot of things or they'll die.
Yeah.
Like, you know about that.
Snakes
There's
and
consequence for
owls.
everything.
Yeah.
They'll follow you home and kill you and your whole family. Like, there's a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to do.
David in the chat says Santa Fe Brewing Company has a ghost. Which one? The main? The tap room Green Jeans?
Or the brewery as a whole, does it travel between
1010 Alley? Yeah.
Because that's interesting.
Are they talking about they have their own like Ghostbusters department and they have it in a facility? They caught their own ghost.
I just pictured like a business ghost with a briefcase going from site to site.
Oh,
He just walks.
I forgot to bring up the ghost that came home with me from Press Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's end the first hour with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, teasers.
This was do you want me to end with the story or tease it?
No.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's tease it. We're
Okay.
So
I even forgot that part until just now when I was thinking about traveling.
you're gonna tell that story the second hour, and you guys are gonna stick around for the second hour for the movie. So
Yeah, for sure. I gotta refill my drinks.
Well, go ahead. You guys go ahead and promote your show and shows. Go ahead.
Eric.
How can people find you? How can people watch you?
So Dos Spookqueños is wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. We're also on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, whatever. We're also on Facebook. All of our social media is Dos Spookqueños, DOSSPOOKQUENOS. I fucked that up like several times in the beginning because it's so hard to spell.
Yeah, it is. I was trying to do the promotion, and I was like, "Good Lord!" And then I learned how to do the enye.
Yeah,
on my computer and on my phone.
Nice.
I've learned how to do it on my phone. I still can't figure it out on my computer.
I don't know how to do it anywhere, so somebody could teach me.
Yeah, so we wrapped season 1 in August, I believe, and we have a Halloween special coming out on the 31st. We also have an interview with an actual Sasquatch coming out on the 30th.
Yeah, get fucking ready for that one. It's good.
What?
I'm serious. Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
So that's exciting. And once I'm done with season 3 of True Consequences, which is consuming my entire life, we'll get back into recording for Dos Spookqueños. But I'm excited about season 3. So True Consequences, again, you can find that show anywhere you listen to podcasts. Facebook, True Consequences Pod. And that season launches November 1st. So I've got 3 things going in a row. Basically every day from the 29th through the 1st of November. TrueConsequences.com, DosSpookqueños.com. Yeah.
Cool.
That's where to find us.
All right. James Smiley.
As per usual, you can check me out on Midnight Texas. That's streaming on Hulu or the NBC app. If you want to check me out, try to find me in the background on Netflix. Currently, it is. Help me out, Chris.
You're on Daybreak, The Brave, Midnight Texas. That's all I can remember.
Yeah, that's good enough. Good things to stream. Look for me in the background.
I've never seen you there, but whatever.
Did you just say he's in all of those movies now? Are
He's
you
in
acting now, Smiley? That's awesome.
He does background work, and he's in The Brave. He's a hostage on a plane. He's a SWAT
All
member.
over the place.
He's
Shut up.
He's a homeless guy. And then Midnight Texas, the first season, he's a vampire bartender. In the second season, you're a waiter.
Yeah, I play the waiter in the diner for the entire season.
Rad.
That's cool.
It never stops being fun to be like, oh my god, I know you. There's James.
Oh, and then he never says this. He's in the first Avengers.
Really?
Well, you can't.
Nice.
You can't see me in there though. I'm just in the credits,
You're just fighting, Captain America. That's all.
which is just a dude dressed up like Captain America.
Yeah. You're fighting him. Yeah. One of the scenes. Whatever. Who cares? Nobody cares. No one saw that movie. Died in the theater. Never.
Yeah, I don't think it did very well, man. I don't think it did very well.
Well, I
I've
can't
never even
point
heard of
out
that.
where I'm at, so it's not. I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
At least in everything else, I'm all, that's me. Hey, check that. That's me.
Right.
So you're just collecting royalty checks now.
So here's let me explain to Alex and Eric what Smiley does. They call him. He goes and he plays his PS little what do you call it? What is it? The PSP and drinks vodka all day until they put him in a scene. Does that make sense now?
That's fantastic, man.
They feed me every 6 hours.
They pay you for that?
Yeah.
They feed me every 6 hours because that's union.
He's actually a principal. He's a principal extra for NBC. They actually pay him extra for that.
Do you have your SAG card and everything?
I don't have a SAG card, but I am contracted by NBC Universal.
No, because to
Oh,
get the SAG card, you have to talk, and once you talk, then you get less work because you can't grab them anymore.
So do you have glossies, man? Do you have glossies?
I do.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking work on those. I'm gonna go to Glamour Shots and get my fucking glossies going.
Nice. Holly Ann, what do you got coming up? What do
You
you
guys all
got?
suck.
Love you, Smiley.
Okay, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Hollybird Comedy. Twitter is more my political views. Just warning you. And then Instagram, you'll see more pictures of my kid than anything else. And TikTok, I'm just dumb on. And then for the first time in 9 months, I will have a show in Greeley, Colorado, November 20th. And I am so excited to be there. So please buy tickets. I heard that it's going to sell out pretty quick. There's 150 seats available. So go buy your tickets. It's going to be at the Millennium Event Center in Greeley, Colorado, November 20th. Kurt Fletcher is headlining. You don't want to miss that. And that's all I have.
I like that guy.
That's my birthday.
I really wish you wouldn't have said for the first time in 9 months we're going to do a show because that kind of came off weird.
Oh, I meant,
Oh,
you know what I mean? For the first time in 9 months, I will be on stage, is what I should have said.
finally can go on stage again.
We're gonna do a real show for the first time in 9 months. I can't wait till I get to do one.
What is Halloween?
Sorry, Chris.
No,
God.
that's funny. I was like, that's funny. We're live every Sunday night from 6 to 8 p.m. here on facebook.com/10drink or our YouTube channel in something called Periscope. Because I chose that because Twitch for me, I don't really, it's more of a gamer thing. Maybe we should go back to that. Who knows?
What is Periscope?
It is the Twitter.
Twitch.
No,
They were so
Twitter
mean to
owns
me on Twitch.
Okay. Periscope is owned by Twitter. So I don't know.
I think I remember hearing about that like 5 years ago, and then it just kind of disappeared.
It was like literally the first place you could just go live and just record.
Yeah, like live stream.
It was like the first one. And I had to choose a third one because I was like, I don't know, whatever, fuck it, Because I tried Twitch and people were like, "What game is this? Fuck this! You're not a hot girl." Anyway,
you're not cosplay. What the hell?
Right. We have our website, 10drinkminimum.com, and Dos Pequeños, 10 Drink Minimum, and True Consequences. We are all members of the Barelas Podcasters Guild. So check out the Barelas Podcasters Guild.com. And there's a fucking gnat right in front of my camera. Other than that, we'll be back for the second hour here. Let's do about 7:10. Everybody take a break and go do what you got to do. About 7:10, we'll come back. And then we'll keep drinking as you should as well. But always remember, never get too drunk.
Never get too drunk to jerk. 10drinkminimum.com.
Fingers living in the light switch as there's a light going whoa. It's cost me a bar on the way to someplace new. As you lay your hand just where it falls, leave the light switch on. As cars speed by on the way to someplace switch on. Light switch on, light switch on, wait for something, light switch on. Light switch on, light switch on, wait for something, light switch on. To find thieves I'm never supposed to see, try and resist desires inherent to forgiveness. You find yourself giving in, try to resist. Try to switch on, switch on, switch on, light switch on. Try to switch on, switch on, switch on, light switch on. Try to switch on, switch on, switch on, light switch on. Boys feel right at home, throw some coffee on the stove. Wash your hands on the face, boy, you can't say grace with a mouth full of smoke. Lord, he knows I'm cheating. Everybody gets down to potatoes, and I'll come around. See, that feels like a steal of things won't kill the soul. Waiting for too long, Lord, please, please say you'll come and forgive me for what I've done. But I can't clean up now, throw some water on me. Wash your hands on the face, boy, you can't say grace when your mind is full of glue. Lord, he knows I'm cheating. Everybody is down with my finger on the trigger, and I'll come around to see that sin like a demon. Spring will kill my soul. Waiting for too long, Lord, please, please, please say you'll come and forgive me for what I've done. Across these fields, the home they shipped through, oh, kind of these hills now for so long. Lord, he knows I'm cheating. I see the red hands with the party everywhere I come around. You see, I take it out of rage to kill my silver soul. Show me the book you live by, all you stand for. I'm gonna turn around and repent. And soon we're gonna cry about how Jesus our friend. And soon we're gonna cry about how I will end. Show me the book you live by, all you stand for. I'm gonna turn around and repent. And soon we're gonna cry about how Jesus our friend. And soon we're gonna cry about how I will end. Allow you to pass between the walls that I built around myself and accomplishment beyond the wall. Yet it goes unnoticed. Line up your toes and mine, as you'll see the stars come together. And the world feel a touch brighter. And if I miss you, come January, when there's no one but myself to warm my thoughts and half truths. Line up your toes and mine to see the stars come together.
I sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regrets. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
We're live. We're back. It's the Billy Hour. Let me fade myself in here. Yeah, welcome to our Halloween spectacular. And let me unmute and bring everybody in. James barely made it. And we have Holly in here. We have Smiley. And from the podcast, Dos Spookqueños,
Sorry.
we have Eric Carter Landine and Alex. Alex, why do you never give your last name? Is that like a running joke?
Yeah.
Nice. So I figured
it has to, it kind of has to do something with my profession.
Oh, okay. So I figured out the noise in the background.
Yeah.
So my
Is it me? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're talking about the door
is
slammings and stuff.
Is my friends gave me a helium balloon, like one of those metal ones that's shaped like a star, and it's a Halloween one, and it said Burnett is hell on it. And they gave me that 13 days ago. 13 days ago. And I and it still is touching my roof, floating around. So it keeps hitting the ceiling fan. So that's what it is.
Oh.
Me too.
Well, I'm
It was a ghost
disappointed.
that did it, though.
Yes. I mean, could it be a ghost? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I'm gonna say it's the balloon.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with the balloon.
I had weird noises right when we went to break, and I
It's
didn't
called
know what it was.
It's
And I was
called
like,
farting.
oh God, I've summoned
Holly's
a
like,
demon.
what's that?
No, how dare you?
They what?
My headphones stopped working.
Oh.
My headphones stopped working.
That's a ghost, too.
I unplugged them.
That's a go. No, my cat is being an asshole to my dog, and they were literally throwing down outside of the room. So
Let's make fun of this Ryan Patrick Freeman photo. Do you think he was really working? The guy was really working, or do you think he just took the picture like he acted like he was working?
No, he's obviously working in that photo.
clearly, he's working really hard.
You didn't think he was like, here, take a picture of me working. I help people.
No, that looked really candid, Chris. How rude.
Influencer style.
Right.
It's super candid.
So Holly, we went to the break and you teased that you brought a ghost home from the here we go. He says what the picture's from. It was from the Albuquerque Rage Room.
Rage.
So apparently this
you're
guy,
a cat.
Ryan Patrick Freeman, he suffers from rage-a-hall.
He's a cat or a Tyler. It's fine. I mean, at least he's not punching holes in his wall or his girlfriend's wall. Or whatever.
I'm totally
leave the drywall alone.
I'm totally messing with him. He's actually our cohort from the Barelas Podcasters Guild. He is one of the hosts of What's Up ABQ. So we're just, totally messing with him. So
Hello.
he's
pretty much anytime Chris says to fuck with somebody, I just go full on now
we're
that I
full throttle in
can't tell
there.
jokes
Yeah.
on stage.
This guy looks like he has a hammer in his fucking picture. So Holly Ann, you brought a ghost home with you from the press club.
I did.
I want to hear this story.
This was probably the scariest thing that happened to me when I started working at Press Club. So when I started working at Press Club, I also had a demon in my life called my ex-boyfriend. He was terrible. Chris knew him. He's just a terrible human being. He's a magician. So that's all I need to say.
There you go. He was
a magician?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm sorry. He is a musician.
Magician.
He's going with
not
Magellan.
a musician. Magician.
Right. How often do you think that happens? He's like hitting on a woman. And they're like, "You're a musician?" No, magician. And they're like,
and he goes like this.
Oh no, he thinks it's cool. That's the bad part. Anyway,
I gotta know more. I gotta know more. Did he walk around with like a cape on and shit? A top hat? You know what I mean?
No, but he would carry magic tricks around with him, and when we would be on dates or anywhere, he would do magic.
Nice. That's.
They're all, sir, you could write the tip in right here, and he's like, or, and they're like, or you could write the tip in right here.
Yeah, or you could just like get the fuck away from me. Yeah, they can follow you home. So I was living in my ex-boyfriend's like casita, me and Crystal and I, not me and Crystal. That's terrible. And we both love spooky things, Crystal more than me, if you can believe that. And we were living in this like tiny little casita in Barelas, and nothing had happened to us the entire time we lived there until I started working at Press Club. And all of a sudden, my refrigerator would open while I was in the shower, home alone. The refrigerator sealed fine. I checked that. And that's how it started, is my refrigerator would open. And then this refrigerator was shitty because, surprise, surprise, my ex was cheap. And so like our food got kind of ruined. And then I started talking to my coworkers. They're like, "That's weird. When did that start?" And I said, "When I started working here." I said, "Do you have any other like things going on?" And at the time I said no. So then it escalated because I ignored it. I was like, this is not, yes, the Ghostbusters vortex thing. Yes, exactly. And then I would get in the shower, and that same like dark spirit I was talking about earlier, where like you would walk through it and you could feel the change. I started feeling that every time I went home. And the crazy thing is it coincided with a bunch of my coworkers not a bunch, there was 4 of us. They stopped feeling that at the club. And I started talking to everybody. I'm like, weird stuff is happening. Like I would wake up from a deep sleep and feel like somebody was staring at me. And I would wake up and I could feel the tension of like something there. And so I was talking to somebody who went into Press Club all the time, and they told me that I should just, ask them nicely to like go back to the Press Club.
Piss off.
And you know what happened is I very respectfully said, like, "Hey man, you're ruining all my food. Like you're creeping me out. I don't like it. Like if you could just go back to the press club. You could come with me to work. We could still be friends. It'll still be cool. I don't feel like you're going to hurt me. And a week later, yes, exactly like the worst roommate I ever had. Watched me while I was in the shower, while I slept, ruined all my food. And I had like
roommates watch you in the shower?
Yes.
That's a thing now? Oh. All right.
It was terrible.
He's a creeper.
Terrible.
A creepy creeper.
Fucking
Very
lurker.
creepy ghost. And then I talked to it like 3 or 4 times, and then suddenly everybody felt that spirit back at Press Club, and my food was fine in my refrigerator, but it was terrifying.
Interesting.
Wow.
Well, you know, one of the things I've kind of noticed over this last season of us, doing a lot of this work is sometimes a lot of these things, like especially like with the Hat Man or the old hag or whatnot, is that a lot of times these things will happen to you when you're having a lot of strife in your life, problems, a lot of negativity in your life, and a magician will bring that into.
It really will. Finally, somebody recognizes it.
You're asking for a demon. You're asking for a demon to come to your house at that point.
You really are, probably.
I'll tell a story. So when I met Holly, she was with the magician, and I immediately didn't like her because she was with the magician because he was kind of a douchebag.
Kind of.
No. I don't know.
Chris is so nice.
Yeah, he was a piece of shit. Sorry.
So wait, you've dated more than one magician?
No,
just
but
okay.
No. When I met her, she was with the magician, and I was like, "Wow, I don't like her."
Yeah. Guilty by association. He was infectious with his asshole.
Yeah.
The food at the Press Club.
What food?
We had hot dogs. So this is
Yeah.
another funny story.
No.
We had a hot dog machine that I one time cartwheeled over because I had to carry it, and I think the ghost who followed me home tripped me while I was carrying that hot dog machine. I'm not kidding. So yes, it did affect the food at the Press Club.
Also, I affected the food at the Press Club because we were like, because I was on the board and I was like, "We have hot dogs," and I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Are we supposed to have a hot dog?" And like, "Yeah, we don't. We lose more than we sell." All right, no.
Yeah.
So I affected the hot dogs as well.
Sold. I would take them home to Mitchell, is where they would go.
Right, because no one would eat the fucking hot dogs. So I affected the hot dogs. We nixed that shit out.
Good call.
Yeah, it was.
The hot dog machine was dangerous.
Popcorn, okay. Hot dogs, no, thank you.
The popcorn was whole other story. Like besides the ghosts at Press Club, the popcorn haunted me more than anything else.
Wow.
People don't know how to eat popcorn.
No.
Yeah, motherfuckers. So we're here with you guys, and this is the Billy/Wavy Hour, and we're here to talk about scary movies now. Because like we started this last week, we were the Harper's Bazaar top 36 scariest movies of all time. Okay, so I wanna do something that I want to do a retraction.
Well, and I have a bone to pick with you as well, by the way.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
But I'll do the retraction first. So I said that Jacob's Ladder was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life. And I rewatched it. It is not. It is not scary. Creepy, not scary. I was a child when I watched it. Creepy, not scary. So I watched that movie, and then immediately Amazon Prime was like, here's this movie called The Changeling. And it said underneath, noted as the scariest movie of all time. So then my lady friend comes over and she's like, I want to watch The Changeling because my uncle also said scariest movie of all time. The Changeling, not scary at all. Nope. Zero. Zilch.
Crystal's list has some good ones. So, if you listen to these suggestions this week,
I want to hear the bone to pick. I want to hear what was the bone to pick. What are you picking the bones?
All right. So it was about Jacob's Ladder.
Okay.
You sent out a little message to us
Mhm.
And you were like, I watched Jacob's Ladder. It's not as scary as when I was a kid, but still
Mhm.
kind of creepy. So we purchased it. Well, we rented it. We didn't
Random.
purchase.
Yeah.
And Hamster
Shit his
is
pants.
mad at me now.
Oh.
Hamster's mad.
He
He was
hates
like,
the movie.
I was not scared. And Hamster's a big old whanny baby about scary movies anyway.
Okay. There was naked boobs in the movie. He should have been okay. He just he's okay with the boob parts.
Boobs
I have
make
good
everything
boobs
better.
though. He doesn't need horror movie boobs. I'm just saying.
Everybody
So,
likes. You gotta like
it
different kinds
wasn't
of
worth
boobs.
it.
Okay. So you
That's
don't like
my
it?
bone to pick. Like
Oh.
I'm in trouble now because I like talked it up and I was like, this is totally gonna
It's
be worth
still,
it.
like Smiley said, it's still a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a
I thought it
great
was really good.
movie, but he was expecting creepiness, and I made him not play his video game to watch it.
Oh no. Is he
You know?
down on the horrors of Vietnam? My dad's a vet. I got a bone to pick with
I
him.
know. My grandpa's a vet. Everybody's like, he has respect, but he has to play his fake soccer.
All right. I feel bad now.
You were going to lose no matter what then. If you were going to take him away from his video games, you could play any movie and he'd be like, that was terrible.
That was the worst movie
All
I've
right.
ever seen in my life.
No. Okay. He said that?
No, he didn't. I'm saying so.
Oh, I was like, man, I got a list of that for him.
No, he was saying that I was going to be in trouble no matter what, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Like, you know, video game.
So okay, so what is the scariest movie of all time then?
I have a retraction from last week too. I felt really
Oh,
bad.
no.
I watched our show,
Uh-huh.
and I happened to have just taken a shot, and I was smoking a cigarette, and you're going through the list, and I was like, yeah, whatever, that movie sucked. I was wrong on one of them.
Okay.
It was the Descent.
No, that's a trash movie.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I
That
got
actually
with that one.
That movie actually scared the shit out of me, and
Okay.
it's very specific because you have to be scared of the dark and enclosed spaces.
Yeah.
I'm
So that's-
scared of both
that-
of those things.
So it's very specific. If you're not scared of those two things, movies kind of like a documentary on spelunking.
Okay.
But I'm scared of both those things, and so I was terrified of that movie.
Caves are scary, man. Caves
I
are
need to
scary.
check that one out.
I've seen it. I had a friend that was like super horror film guy, and he was like, "Yeah, see this one," and I was like, "I don't know.
I got it right here.
I guess I'll watch it again."
So scary.
That's when she was bathing in blood.
Yes.
So,
So I
should-
just want to let you guys know, like,
Mhm.
Crystal took the time to
Mhm.
write this out, and she put little personal notes. She's too embarrassed to come on the show. She's super
Sure.
shy.
okay.
So
Before
she
you do
gave
that,
me-
before you do that.
No. I'm just saying it's adorable. She gave commentary.
Oh, okay. Of our show.
No, of the movie she suggested.
I
She
wanna
gives
go-
me commentary on our show every week.
So I want to tell Alex and Eric the list that we were going off of. This
Oh.
is Harper's Bazaar, whatever the fuck that is.com. They did a top 36 movies that were like the scariest movies of all time.
Okay.
And we did not agree.
And we did not agree. I think number one is the absolute fucking overblown bullshit of all time. But do you want me to go through the list real quick for you guys?
Sure.
Real fast.
Yeah.
And we're going to do no commentary until afterwards.
Okay.
So
Okay.
number 36, Goodnight Mommy. Never heard of it. Number 35, The Witch, 2016. Number 34, The Taking of Deborah Logan. Number 33, Starry Eyes. Number 32, The Babadook.
Mm.
Number 31, Lovely Molly. 30, Inside, 2008. Number 29, El Orfanato. Number 28, The Descent. Number 27, The Devil's Backbone. Number 26, Suspiria. Number 25, The Exorcist. I feel like that's way too low. I guess it should be higher. Number 24, Tigers Are Not Afraid. Number
Watch
23.
that.
Well, hold
Stop.
on. Number 23, The Strangers. I feel like that's too low. Number 22, The Hitcher, the 1986 version with Rutger Hauer. Number 21, Poltergeist, 1982, the original. Number 20, Under the Shadow, never heard of it. The Eyes of Mother, number 19. Night of the Living Dead, 1967, comes in at number 18. We all felt like that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Should be lower.
Number 17, The Ring. Number 16, A Tale of Two Sisters. Number 15, The Innocents. Number 14, The Changeling. Boo. Number 13, Hereditary. Number 12, Audition. Number 11, The Nightmare on Elm Street. Now we get to number 10, right?
All right.
Now I feel like we really have to like these movies. So if this is the number 10, right? Scariest movie of all time. This has got to be scary, correct?
You would think.
Number 10, Halloween, 1978, and Halloween 2, both put together as number 10. All right, I can go with that. They're kind of scary. They're the jump scare, whatever.
They're classics.
Yeah.
Number 9, A Quiet Place. I like it. I don't know about number 9 of all time.
Yeah, I don't know about
good.
number 9, but it was pretty damn good.
It's not number 9. It needs to go.
You didn't have much of a script, but it was a lot of really tense moments, like some really good suspense.
I'd say that's more suspense,
Yeah.
honestly.
I fell asleep, so.
Brian and Gio says Exorcist is way scarier than Poltergeist. I don't know.
Yeah, I just spilled that.
Okay.
Oh,
I think Poltergeist, dude, in the movie Poltergeist, I still remember when he ripped his face, and then the doll,
for me.
the doll clown, yeah. But I don't.
It was the tree. It was the tree that ate the kid for me, man.
Oh, there's that one too.
Oh yeah,
So,
that
the
makes
thing
sense.
the thing with A Quiet Place is like I went in the theater and I could hear someone opening their candy. I was like. Like it was so like if you saw it in the theater, it was so quiet. And
I think maybe for me it wasn't as scary. I was thinking about this after the podcast.
yeah,
I grew up with a mom who was raised by 2 deaf people.
it was
So like
raised
my
by
mom
wolves.
expected her house like very quiet.
Yeah.
So for me, like being quiet was not terrifying. I don't know.
Well, I thought so number
I just
8.
fell asleep.
So number 8, Alien, 1979. I don't know. Do I think it's scary? Yes. Do I think it's in the top 10? No way.
I thought Aliens was better.
Well, it's not as scary though,
Yeah.
because you already know. You're like they're gonna rip some motherfucker, and then game over, man. We're fucked. And this one I don't know. I cannot commentate whatsoever because I've never seen it. Train to Busan.
Oh,
That
yeah.
one is pretty scary.
Yeah.
So good
Man.
It's a
and
good
heart ripping at the
movie.
same time.
Yeah.
Ryan says, meh.
Meh.
Well, you know.
Well,
The
first you
scene
said,
with him
man.
and his daughter.
Yeah.
Oof.
Meh, meh.
Meh.
Meh, 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 meh.
Now,
Maybe he's
number
crying for
6,
his mommy. That might
Number
be what's
6.
happening.
number 6. Is this as scary as I remember it? Maybe. I need to rewatch it. The original 1974, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, it's a classic, man.
It's a
That's
classic.
that's a
You
good
gotta
one.
respect it.
I saw it. So I was born in 1975. I was born a year later. Now I saw this movie probably like 1981, 1982. I was like 6 or 7 years old. As you do, as you watch,
Like you do.
they're like, well, he's 6. Put on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know,
I would sneak out and watch them with my dad from behind the couch.
I will
Just, like,
say that
sneak over.
as I think the more about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, you know, you had the Friday the 13th and you had like the Halloween, and they were all like jump scares. And Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre kind of had that too, but there was also like that creepy, incestuous family. Like there was the scene where like they put the dead person's face on the girl.
Well,
and
and
then-
if you are into true crime and you learn about some of the serial killers, that movie becomes a lot scarier.
Well, yeah, it was based on
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they had so there's a lot of the original psychological horror. So I'm gonna okay that. So what about number 5? Candyman 1990.
No.
Dude,
Candyman.
Candyman messed me up when I was a kid, though. And that was 92, so I was still pretty young.
My
It was the first time I had seen, like, other than Blackula, a black man playing like the legit horror, genre, and he was scary. He had the super deep voice, and you know what I mean. Like, I thought it was pretty good, and and I liked how it followed like the kind of the urban legend.
Yeah. He's all.
So my mom's biggest fear.
Yeah.
My mom's biggest fear is Candyman. And I learned this when I was in middle school. And when my mom would take I hope she's not watching this. When my mom would take naps on the couch, I would play Candyman while she was sleeping.
Yeah.
Because I am an asshole.
I think you and I would be really good friends, Holly.
I think so too.
I thought Candyman was scary. But like,
it's pretty scary.
The new one's coming out. Like, it was supposed to have been out, but the COVID.
I heard it's going to be amazing. That's what I heard.
We'll see.
I heard it's going to be amazing.
So
also, it's why I was afraid of medicine cabinets as a child. So
that was scary. That shit was scary. You busted through the walls to get your ass. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
It was kind of like a modern day Bloody Mary. Like, we see too many times. And fucking get murdered.
You obviously were not raised Catholic.
No.
Bloody Mary was terrifying. So I went to Catholic school, and we would do Bloody Mary like in one of our like bathrooms, and our principal on purpose scared us one time. That's probably why Candyman scares me.
You ever do light as a feather, stiff as a board?
Yes.
Oh man.
Let's see if you can pick up my 250-pound ass for doing that. It's not going to work.
I'll pick you up with 2 fingers.
Eric, what was the episode that we did where we talked about? Was it La Llorona, or was it you remember? Because we talked about that. We talked about how we could like summon somebody. Man, shit. It was like 3 candles, and what episode was that, dude?
I can't remember. I think it might have been La Llorona. I don't know. My brain is fried. I've been working on season 3 of True Consequences. I can't remember that.
Well,
I believe it was that one. It was that one, or it was the Witching Hour one, or it was one of those two. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm not scared, man. I'm gonna try to do it. I haven't done it yet. So I guess I'm kind of scared.
I'm gonna go with number 4. I'm gonna do a pre-thumbs down. Number 4, scariest by Harper'sBazaar.com. Number 4, scariest movie of all time, The Blair Witch Project, 1999.
Oh yeah.
Blech. Yeah.
All right. Hold on now. That was one of the first like kind of found footage. Movies.
It was.
And they did it really smart. They did it really smart. They branded it so right with like all the website shit, and they had like TV shows where they were talking about the discovery of it all, man. But I mean, by the time I went to go see it, I was like, all right, this isn't real. But I mean, the hype on it was so proper, and I mean, it was a great movie, to a point. I mean, for what it was, I thought it was great.
Okay, I feel like I agree with what you're saying. Like when I first saw the campaign, when I first saw the preview, I was like, this is a documentary. This isn't fake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they made it feel real legit.
And then by the time, like you said, by the time I saw it, I knew it was fake.
Mm-hmm.
I got in trouble for ordering it on pay-per-view at my grandma's house.
Well, as you
without her knowing, and I was disappointed.
Yeah. I've got to say, so then,
I agree.
All right, so number 3 is the 2007 movie Paranormal Activity.
The first one.
You know what? I'm going to say this. Unpopular opinion. They creep me out.
It was creepy, but it's not number 3 creepy.
It's not number 3, but they creep me out.
All right,
go way lower.
Eric, I feel like you're going to be disappointed from here on out.
I'm guaranteed that I'm going to be disappointed.
I'm fucking disappointed from here on out.
I was pissed.
I mean, I don't disagree with this film, but I kind of feel like this film is like, I don't disagree that this film is not kind of scary-ish, but I feel like they threw this one up there kind of politically.
Okay.
So number 2 is the movie Get Out. 2017.
It's a good movie.
The second scariest movie of all time.
I don't know about that.
No,
I don't think so.
absolutely.
But it is good. It's well
It was
done.
good. It was
Well,
good.
it's a good movie.
I liked it, but the second scariest movie of all time. But then again, with what they put as the number one, I don't. I'm not shocked. What do you think the number one scariest movie of all time is? Let me ask you guys. What do you think it is?
I just watched this last night, and I forgot how scary it was. But The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay.
The remake or the new one? I'm sorry, the remake or the original?
The rate this is going.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that they have Jeepers Creepers as number one.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's probably it, man.
Nope. Think classic films.
Oh, okay.
Classics.
Interview.
Someone
with the
said
Vampire.
Nosferatu. No.
That's a good one, though. It's not
That is a good one.
terrifying, but it's.
Someone said Nosferatu. Oh, Frozen.
I'm terrified of Frozen
No.
right now because I have a 4-year-old.
Exorcist was in the top 25 somewhere.
It was way too far up there. Yeah.
It was Exorcist. If someone put The Exorcist, I would go, okay.
Yeah.
But for this movie, I absolutely disagree. I feel like it's
like Harry and the Hendersons or something.
Is it Gremlins 2?
You know what? Yeah, Smiley and Holly already know what it is.
Gremlins was genuinely scary when I was a kid,
Right.
man. That was
I'm going
messed
to
up.
give you one hint. Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Is it Jaws?
Sorry.
Nope. No.
Thank God.
Someone said Psycho. Psycho would have been a better answer.
That would.
Was it the TV series It?
The Mist.
Nope.
This oh shit.
It's
Pet
The
Cemetery.
Shining. It's The
The
Shining.
Shining.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not the scariest movie of all time.
It's not
It needs
number
to go
one.
down on the list.
No.
It's a good movie.
It belongs on the list, but it is not number one.
Someone went Cujo. I would have went Cujo over that. I've never thought The Shining was super scary.
No, it's a great
Creepy.
movie, and it
It's
is
a good movie.
so far
It-
off from his book. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
really
Kubrick
a
really
standalone
did something with
movie.
it. Yeah.
I don't think whatever. It's Harper's Bazaar. That's their opinion. But for me, The Shining is not the scariest movie of all time.
It wasn't scary
you
when I was a
ready?
kid, but it was scary when I was an adult and then had kids and had to work. And I was like, I totally understand this movie
Yeah.
now.
The twins.
Same. As soon as I have my bonus daughter, and I had the same experience. As soon as I became a parent, I'm like, yep, I get it.
Yeah.
That could happen.
I've got to look
Terrifying.
at some other lists. I need some other lists here. I need to know what's scarier than that.
Are you ready for Crystal's list?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
So, just so you two are aware, my best friend in the whole world, my real life partner besides my husband, is named Crystal, and she is obsessed with everything horror. I'm the true crime one. She's the horror one. It's a friendship made in hell. But we asked her for her list. She has a whole Instagram. You guys can follow her at Roar Zombies on Instagram. She's obsessed with horror. And I asked her for her top 10, and they are pretty good. Are you guys
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
All right. Number 10 is a French film called Inside. And she gave the French name, and I'm not even going to try to say it. And she said it's a French home invasion movie from 2007. Very disturbing. Bloody people are insane. There's an American remake. Don't watch it. It sucks.
Nice.
Number 9 is
Wasn't the
Tales
remake
from
The
the
Strangers?
Dark Side movie. It's on there, James. Just calm your tits,
Oh,
dude.
Calm your tits, James.
You didn't say no commentary.
So number 9 is Tales from the Dark Side movie. She didn't give commentary, so I feel like
Really?
she just feels like it's a good movie.
Is that the one from the 80s? The Tales from the Dark Side one?
So,
I don't know. She didn't give commentary, so I don't know.
Is it
That would be
scary because
Dan
someone?
Aykroyd?
No, that's Tales from the that's Twilight Zone.
Tales from the Crypt or something.
Oh.
Tales from the Dark Side. Is she shocked because they gave Billy Zane another job?
I don't know, but she said it's Tales from the Dark Side movie,
when he had
and
hair.
tomorrow I will ask her what she means.
Okay.
Number 8 is Ju-on the Grudge.
Oh,
Ju-on.
And the
Yeah.
original Japanese Grudge gave me nightmares. And that is saying something for her. So
the Japanese know how to do some horror, man. They can do some
Korean,
serious shit.
South Koreans too.
yes.
I don't know if I've seen South Korean horror yet.
Oh,
A Tale of
that's
Two
some crazy
Sisters.
shit.
So good.
Number 7 is Hereditary. And she said pretty disturbing for a modern horror. Number 6 is The Exorcist.
Okay.
And she said never trust a Ouija board.
Oh, absolutely not.
100%.
Number
That's how you get
5,
ghosts in your house.
number 5, The Conjuring. Those jump scares always get me, is what she said, and I agree. Number 4, which I'm sad I didn't think of this last week. It kind of makes me upset because I kind of forgot it existed. Number 4 is Oculus. Probably one of the best psychological horror movies that sticks with you, is what she says. And it made me feel like weird. Like my body felt weird while I watched it the first time. Number 3 is REC, or like
Record.
like abbreviation for record. And she put Quarantine is a remake of this movie from Brazil.
Yeah.
And the original does it better. So creepy. Number
Just the
2,
first movie or the series?
The movie?
The first movie, like there's 3 in the series.
Yeah, there's like 3
she
records.
said REC, Quarantine is a remake of this movie. So I assume it was the original movie.
I think they were French or something too, weren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Spanish,
she
I
said
think.
this one's from Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Okay, number 2 is The Strangers.
Oh,
And she said, and I agree, this movie freaks me out. And
scares
she
the crap out
said,
of
human beings are terrifying.
me. That terrified me
100%.
because it was
And
like
that's
real
why I
people
think
killing
this
real
movie
people.
is so scary.
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't seen the sequel, and I don't want to.
No. This
I'm
movie
not-
is terrifying because it could happen.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Bro.
I say, in my mind, when people say, what's the scariest movie you ever saw? I say that movie.
Yeah.
And people go, why?
Well-
When I was in high school, we had a house, we had a farm out in the middle of nowhere. And it would be like a weekend night, and my parents would be like, well, we're going to go, to the bar and drink, and we're going to leave you here. And I'd be all alone in this single farmhouse with no one for miles. And someone could have easily walked through the field or
totally.
whatever, and just like stared in the windows, and
Are you
That
guys
just-
ready for her
That just sounds
number
like
1?
That's
Yes.
a fun prank you do to your friends.
no,
It's
no,
not a fun prank,
Nope.
James. This is
No.
okay. Please don't ever do that prank on me, James. Because I will stab you. Just so you know.
Cut you deep.
And I'll cover it on
have
True Consequences.
body armor on. It'll be fine.
I watch too much true crime to like. I sleep very heavily armed. Just so everybody knows. All right. So her number 1 is Sinister, which I brought up last week. And she
Ooh.
said, scares me every time. The snuff style kills are uneasy to watch. And
Yeah.
I agree.
I saw that in the theater, and I had a hard time with that one. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It's really torture stuff though.
Yeah. Well, and it's a whole franchise, and it is the only horror franchise I know where the subsequent movies are just as scary as the first one. And I think it's because of that snuff film style.
Yeah.
8mm style.
Yeah. 8mm was a freaky movie.
That was a freaky movie.
So
That's
go ahead, James. Go ahead.
sorry. I mean, that's one of those things that just has to do with like what you're personally scared of.
You sure?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, fair.
I worked as an EMT, like I picked up people's brains, so like gory stuff
Right.
doesn't bother me at all.
What did the brain say to you? Oh,
Oh my God.
It said to me that I was the lowest person on the totem pole, so I didn't get So I just had to pick up brains instead of like working with a human.
Oh my word.
So I
think I don't like snuff film style things because I am a true crime person.
Same.
Is like just the thought of like a person filming snuff. And if you follow true crime, you know that snuff films are a thing. And I think that's what creeps me out too. So, you know.
Yeah, it's too close to reality.
I have a new list. I have another website, theguardian.com.
Okay.
And it has I feel like it's not perfect, of course, but it's a little better.
None of them are going to be.
No, of course not. But it has some movies on it we haven't even talked about.
Okay.
Number 10. I'm just going to do the top 10.
Okay.
Or I'll do top 11.
Okay.
Number 11, Carrie.
It's a good movie.
Which one?
A good movie, but doesn't give me
the original.
heebie-jeebies? No.
The original.
All right.
Number 10, a movie.
John Travolta in that one, man.
Number 10, a movie no one has talked about on this show, or we have not said yet one at all. The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a good one.
yes.
Have
the lamb stop screaming at Eric?
Put the fucking lotion in the basket.
See, that wasn't scary. That was just like
that's
really
the psychological.
I feel like that's scary.
Kind of.
It scared me.
Like
I think it's
whenever
scary.
they were like, whenever he like, they had
It's
him
the
in the
most
cave.
realistic serial killer.
I saw it in the theater, and like I was in like 8th grade. So the funniest story I have about this movie is I used to travel and I used to work on computers for people, and I was in Moriarty, and I was at a middle school.
Oh well, that's where you went wrong.
Well, hold on. So I'm in the back of the room, and the kids come in, and I'm like super like hypersensitive that I'm working on a computer in the middle of a class, and all of a sudden this little girl turns to her like 8th grader, turns to her friend, and she goes, "It puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the pose again." And I'm like,
"Oh my god!"
And I look at the teacher, and he's like, and I'm like, "This girl is in 8th grade, and she's watching Silence of the Lambs." And then I was like, then I was like, when did I see that movie? In the theater when I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah. Well,
guaranteed she's a true crime fan. Guaranteed.
Not the scariest thing she's ever seen living in fucking Moriarty.
Correct. I mean, that's like basically her reality every day. And I guarantee you.
A strip club up there.
I guarantee you she's a true crime fan. Guaranteed. She's totally into true crime.
She totally is.
So number 9, The Babadook. That's apparently a movie I need to see.
Man, I thought The Babadook was actually pretty good. I thought it was good.
So that's
that kid drove me nuts.
Yeah, that's number 9. So number 8. So number 8 on this list is The Shining, which I'm like, okay, that's fine. You can put it at 8. That's fine. And then number 7, The Innocents, 1961. Never heard of it.
Me either.
Number 6, Suspiria, 1976.
Oh, that's a classic.
I haven't thought about that movie.
I didn't realize Black Swan was like was like kind of an homage to it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Dead of Night, 1945. Number 4, Psycho, 1960.
Classic.
Number 3, The Exorcist, which I'm kind of like, I feel like The Exorcist always needs to kind of be up there. It's a little. I saw it when I was like 6 or 7. You know,
the first time you see it, it freaks you out.
Yeah. Number 2, Rosemary's Baby.
Oh shit.
Oh.
You know, about a woman who's birthed Satan.
That's terrifying to me as a woman.
As you do.
Number 1.
I've never watched that movie without being on mushrooms, so that is terrifying. Rosemary's Baby is totally up there.
You stress me out, James. I don't even know why.
Rosemary's Baby is so suspenseful, and there's so little dialogue. And if you were on mushrooms, like every 4 seconds between, because it's amazing.
Okay, how come none of these lists have The Omen on them? The Omen, dude, is the fucking spawn of Satan, man.
Ah, Damien.
The kid's
Oh,
got
yeah.
a 666 tattooed to his fort on the top of his head, man. Number one on this list is a movie called Don't Look Now.
Oh.
73.
That's-
Donald Sutherland. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm
That's
just throwing
a
out.
good one. That's a good one.
Damien.
It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you.
It's all for you, Damien. Yeah. So I watched that Changeling movie, and the whole time I'm like, so first of all, it's super white privilege, right? This guy, George C. Scott is like a composer, and they're like, where he's gonna teach at the local university. He's a famous composer, and they're like, where are you going to live? And he's like, I don't know. And they're like, I'm sure the Historical Society will rent you a home. They rented like a fucking 6-story mansion.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, anyway, so I'm watching it, and yeah, it was terrible. There was a lot of holes that I was upset about, and everyone's like, "This is the scariest movies of all time." No, it's not.
We even talk about Dagon.
I don't know what that is. Dagon.
Oh, it's a
was it, man?
What is
it's a Spanish production movie of H.P. Lovecraft. A Night Over Ends.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Anyway,
What's the scariest show you've ever seen? Or TV show?
Maybe Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Mine's called
I don't
Fox
know.
News. I'm just kidding.
no, mine's called, well, I mean, I'm kind of like weird because I watch like murder things all the time. So it's hard for me to be like the scariest thing I've watched. I'm like, the injustice of our justice system is hard to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like people get off of like crimes a lot. So if we're talking about TV shows, probably like Court TV.
True crime
It's
TV.
probably the
C-SPAN.
scariest thing I've ever
C-SPAN.
seen.
damn. I was gonna go with Tales from the Dark Side, but
Again, because it's Billy Zane, right?
Yeah. When he had hair.
I don't know. Chris, what's the scariest TV show you've ever seen?
American Horror Story, one of them. I saw one.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Some of the seasons are
Some are better than
Difficult.
others. Yeah.
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 oh
I
wait,
think mine is Fuller House.
Smart. Yeah. You're like,
Shit is scary.
is that
dare you.
Dave Coulier? Oh my God. Like,
They don't
Cut
have the
it
Olsen
out.
oh,
oh wait. I have a legitimate answer.
one? Okay.
What mine's
The
not
scary-
legit?
Oh,
Thanks, Smiley.
Carnival. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said, Alex.
Carnival's not scary.
The Hotel Beausejour.
I don't know.
It's on Netflix. It's done in Finnish, I believe, the entire thing.
Oh.
It's just an amazingly creepy ghost story.
I
And
didn't finish that one.
creeped me out.
You know, okay, this is
What is
you
that
guys are probably
blind
gonna
man?
you're probably
Chris,
gonna
that
boo
was
me.
a dad joke, and I am disappointed.
What?
You're probably gonna boo me off for this, and maybe you haven't even seen this,
I
but
doubt
something
it.
that creeped me out was Wayward Pines. That show creeped me out.
Wait,
I've never heard of that.
Oh,
yes.
it's creepy.
Eric, I think we are meant to be friends.
Yeah.
No. He doesn't like it. I keep my co-hosts and my friends separate. I'm just messing.
Most people haven't even heard of Wayward Pines.
Yeah,
but
it
that
wasn't very
show
popular.
was creepy.
It was creepy.
Don't you
Yeah.
hate? That's the fucking problem with modern American television. You're like, this is great, and then if
Yeah.
no one watches it, it's like, this
Yeah.
is great to only me apparently,
Yeah.
and then it gets canceled.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, before we go, can I ask Eric like a fangirl question?
You can ask him whatever you want.
Okay, cool. So Eric,
Yeah.
I need to know, what is a true crime case that has stuck with you that you still follow?
I would have to say it's and this is so cliche, but it's got to be the Golden State Killer because it was such
It is.
it was such a mystery for so long, and then the way it was
Mhm.
solved was so freaking incredible.
Yeah.
And
Have you read
it's-
Michelle McNamara's book?
That's
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt's wife,
Oh,
right?
good. It is Patton
Yeah.
Oswalt's
Yeah.
wife, and that
Yeah.
was two of my worlds colliding.
Yeah.
I was so excited. But
Yeah, that's the case. I think that one, and then anything related to children has always been something that I,
So have you followed the Mike Jones case from Florida?
no.
Dude.
Oh no.
Okay.
So that happened this year or
Okay.
last year, late last year.
Holly's
in
like,
Florida.
I don't know about you now. She's like, I don't know about you.
No.
That-
I think it didn't get as much attention as it should have, and I think
Mhm.
that's why, like, just to bring it like full circle kind of, I think that's why it's important for people to have true crime podcasts and true crime shows. Is I think these things need attention so
Yeah.
that people will get justice.
Yeah.
But so this guy killed his wife and his 2 children and his 2 stepchildren.
Wow.
And then he pretended to be his wife on social media and text messaging.
I did hear
And
this. Yes.
then he had the bodies in his van
Mhm.
for months,
Wow.
got rid of the kids' bodies, and the only reason he got caught is because he got in a car accident with his wife's body in the car.
Shitbag.
Was he
And
like, oh,
his-
she died in a car wreck?
No.
She was decomposing
He-
at this
he
point.
couldn't
I
even
know, I
because
figured.
she was in like a tote. She was
Hmm.
in like a Rubbermaid container. So he couldn't even be like she. But the thing about this, and the reason I think it needs more attention, is I think his ex-wife was involved because he stayed with her for like a week before they caught him.
Yeah.
So like all of it is crazy.
Mhm.
But if you have time, look into it because
I will,
it's
yeah.
crazy. His name's Mike Jones.
I remember, now that you brought up the details, I remember that. And who needs horror movies when reality is as fucking scary as that?
I know. And that's the one that's been sticking with me lately.
Well,
is like,
and that's usually where, like, if you watch a horror film, it's like crazy scary, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw
Yeah.
Massacre is based off of 3 different serial killers.
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's based in reality if it's crazy. Because
Yeah.
human beings are crazy.
Saw is based off of the Toy Box Killer,
David
Yeah.
Parker Ray. Yep.
and that franchise is massive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
because he was
Like
terrifying.
15 movies by now.
have you guys ever seen? Okay, so this is a movie that all I remember. So my mom. Okay, so I grew up in a family that my mom loves horror films, big time. Smiley could tell you.
That's why me and your mom get along.
Holly
It's
Ann.
true.
So I remember a movie, and it was based on true life, but I don't know if it's, who knows, because this is the 80s.
Mhm.
But there was a movie called The Town That Dreaded Sundown, and it was
Yeah,
about
yeah.
a killer that killed people. And, it's kind of hokey, but kind of scary, and it was supposedly based off. So I don't know. People can.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
actually occurred not that far from where I grew up.
It's in. We would grow up.
Really?
Arkadelphia, Arkansas, but it actually happened in Texarkana, which
Okay,
is like
yeah.
which
Yes.
is right on the border of Texas and Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually fairly creepy, true story.
Wow.
Still
I
unsolved,
need to look that one up.
completely unsolved.
Yeah. Same.
And they made some great movies on it too, but it didn't really follow the
But, like,
legit
that was-
story of it. You know what I mean? But
So,
it was still good.
movies that I watched as a kid that like people like, that don't register, but like I always thought were crazy were that one, Motel Hell.
Motel Hell, man.
Mhm.
No
Motel
one
Hell?
ever talks about Motel Hell. That was a really
Yeah.
good one.
Motel Hell is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre before the Texas, because like they would bury people up to their necks, and then
Yeah.
he would hook a rope up to their head and then drive off.
They'd take off their voice boxes, so they just sit there.
Yeah.
make all these weird noises.
That was a scary one.
He would make beef jerky out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they kind of stole for like Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. He's like, someone's eating the beef jerky. They're eating like the chili or something. And he's like, oh, that's one of them hard corns. And it's like someone's fingernail. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other ones. The Heretic was a big one.
Never saw that.
When I was a kid, and it was about a ghost that followed. It was like an abusive stepfather that had died, and his ghost had followed if I remember correctly, had followed the family and kept attacking the daughter.
I remember that one. That one was
scary.
creepy.
Yeah, these are movies.
You know what else sticks with me?
Yeah.
Chris, did your mom ever watch Lifetime movies?
Hallmark.
I hate to say that, but some of the Lifetime movies are insane. Like the guy who scraped like battery acid off of batteries and put it in his wife's shampoo.
What?
Because he liked the attention of having a sick wife, and then she died. That's based on a true story.
Flowers in the Attic.
Oh, that movie.
That's a terrifying one.
That's a mind fuck.
What's the one with Nicole Kidman in them where they're
The Others?
The Others.
That was well written. That was a really well written movie, actually.
Lifetime equals.
Somebody brought one up earlier. Yeah, Lifetime does equal terror.
Yeah.
Somebody brought one up earlier that had Harrison Ford in it. I just made Hamster watch it. Now I can't.
Oh shit!
What Lies Beneath?
He, like, tries to, what lies beneath?
What lies beneath? Yes.
The crystal
That
skull.
one creeps me out.
Scary shit. Elijah, what's his name? Is Shia LaBeouf?
Oh my god!
Take over, Anita Jones. No.
Leave LaBeouf alone. Okay, just leave LaBeouf alone.
He's going through some shit.
Well,
What lies beneath? Yes.
What lies beneath? Is that the one where like he would
creeps
drown his wives in the bathtub, or whatever? He would like give them enough Valium or something till they.
Yeah. You know what I just discovered about myself is I am afraid of husbands who kill their wives.
I mean, yeah.
You should be.
That's worrying.
I see why.
That's a valid fear.
I just want to point something out to women out there. If you're dating Kevin Bacon, not a good idea. Just saying. A lot of bad horror films.
Bacon.
Oh, I don't know, man. Did you see him in Stir of Echoes?
I like Stir of Echoes.
That's what I'm saying. Why you want to date a guy like that? He's got that.
You're right.
He's got.
He's too good at it. He's too good at it. Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
Footloose.
And Footloose.
And that's probably my problem. I dated a magician and only saw the good parts. You know, that explains a lot.
The entire premise of that movie is just absurd.
What, Footloose? Footloose?
Okay,
dude,
hold on.
No more dancing. You guys are cut off.
Hold on a second. So we do a thing on this show called movie. What do you? Where you go to Hollywood and you like tell them about you promote. This is the movie. The pitch. Yeah. We call it pitch. And it's always about a movie that you're like, who the fuck green lighted this? And it's like for me, like one of my favorites is like, okay, check this out, right? So these billionaires who live in Florida, hold on, they live in Florida, they want to have a party. And they want Coors beer. But Coors beer, it's the 70s. Coors beer is not allowed in Florida. So they hire some truckers to bring Coors beer, and they keep getting over. They keep getting arrested. Hold on. Keep getting arrested. So they're like, who should we get to get the Coors beer here? Oh, we know a guy, and he has a trucker friend. They'll get it here. So they hire the guy, and he buys a Trans Am. And he's like, I'm going to use this Trans Am to divert the police from getting the Coors beer.
It was a Firebird. Come on, man.
It was a Pontiac Firebird. Firebird.
Was it Trans
and he's going to get there. And then, unbeknownst to him, they accidentally happen on a wedding. And someone jumps in the car. You know, and it's like, the more you think about this movie, you're like, who green-lighted this movie?
Exactly.
And we'll have Bob Hogg chase him down all over the place.
Hold on. So this woman who's divorced moves with her kids to a small town, right? But in the small town, hold on. They don't allow dancing.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
But the kid who's a rebel, loves to dance. That's like,
you can't stop him. You can't keep him from dancing.
Ride the tractor out.
His little anger dance in the woods was one of the best cinematic moments of all time.
Yeah.
Oh God!
And he throws the beer and throws a cigarette, and then he starts doing gymnastics on trees and shit. It's a fucking amazing, man. Yeah, skills.
The story of Footloose is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
The premise is insane.
What I think of when I think Kevin Bacon, and I forget
we had a bunch of kids.
Creepy movies that he's done, which explains a lot about my history of picking bad men.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough.
Hamster's all right, but you know.
Yeah.
Maybe I finally found my Footloose.
Kevin Bacon stir.
Weird but innocuous, you know.
If he starts talking about how he hears ghosts in the house, I don't know about that though.
Oh, he says that all the time. He's a wuss. All right.
All right. Well, I want to thank Alex and Eric from Dos Pequeños for being on the show. And you guys go ahead and promote. Well, how do people find where they listen to your show?
No, Eric's got it down. Get it, man.
Eric's got it down.
Really
so Dos Pequeños is available wherever you listen to podcasts. You go to dospequeños.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dos Pequeños. True Consequences, same story. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, trueconsequences.com, True Consequences Pod on Instagram and Facebook, and True Cons Pod on Twitter.
Nice. Smiley, what do you got?
Well, as per usual, you can see me streaming on Hulu or on NBC for, I always forget the Brave, Midnight Texas, and on Netflix you can see me on Daybreak. If you look real close, I play a high school student, so counterintuitive.
Nice. Holly Ann, what do you got?
I'm not going to say it the same way I did earlier because you got real upset, Chris.
I did not.
Kurt Fletcher and I will be in Greeley, Colorado on November 20th at the Millennium Event Center. You can get your tickets now through the Facebook event, and also I don't know if they have a website. I should look that up. But I was
just worried it looked like you just had a baby and then you were now back on the road. That's why I said that. You're like, after 9 months, I'll be back on the road. I was like,
I mean, I could have had a baby in this time, but that's just how long COVID has lasted. So, yay.
I wasn't mad. I just thought it was funny that you were like, after 9 months, we're back on the road. It just seemed like a bad SNL sketch. I was like, I'm now on the road again.
Well, I mean, we all know that if I got pregnant with a baby, I would still go on the road and tell jokes.
Nice.
You know?
Did you bring the baby on stage with you?
You know what? Actually,
the baby's timing
would.
Is the answer.
I was on a show in LA with a lady who was breastfeeding her baby and backstage, and all the male comedians were being dickwads.
Oh yeah.
So she brought the baby on stage with her and whipped her boob out and fed the baby while she was telling jokes. And you know what? I think that's dope.
Yeah.
Because we deserve to be moms too.
It's true that. I wasn't mad. I thought it was funny. You were like, after 9 months of going to be back on stage, I was like, just seemed like a perfect opportunity. Like, 9 months.
I don't know. People accuse me of being pregnant all the time. It's not a big deal, Chris.
No.
Oh.
They do. Because I eat a lot. It's fine.
I like photos of the old English, man. Shit.
People accuse me of drinking too much too. It happens all the time.
I want to thank Eric and Alex for being on the show.
Thanks, man.
You guys could check us out every week, every Sunday night, 6 to 8 p.m. here live on Facebook.com/10drink or our YouTube channel and something called Periscope. I don't know if that even works.
We don't know what it is, but
yeah, I don't know. No one chats from the Periscope account. It's weird. That's cool. Maybe we'll switch back to Twitch. We'll see.
No, I hated Twitch. They were so mean to me. They called me fat.
You just
and all
gotta be
kinds of
mean
things.
back, man. You just gotta be mean.
The people who own Twitch called you fat?
No, the people who, when we were on Twitch, do you not remember when it's a whole, we'll talk about it later, but they were mean.
I know. People are mean out there. It's a weird thing. We'll do the top 10 list of mean people next week.
I have a good top 10 list.
I want to point out that there's a lot of people here that are in the chat and that are supporting. We have Brian and Gio made a podcast. We have What's Up ABQ. We have Parenting versus Podcast. We have Dos Pequeños. We have True Consequences, and we have 10 Drink Minimum. And together, we are all part of the Barelas Podcasters Guild, and we are actually launching our guild November 14th. It's going to be a virtual launch. We will post all the stuff out there. I've been drinking, apparently. And so look forward to that. It's pretty exciting stuff. A lot of things are happening. It's happening really quick. And, because of people like Eric and because of people like Ryan and, whatever, it's all going to happen. It's going to be great. If you want to start a podcast, look up the BarellasPodcastersGuild.com. It's amazing. Like us on Twitter, like us on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media, just like 10 Drink Minimum. Other than that, thank you guys for all this. With that, we are 10 Drink. Oh, sorry.
Minimum.
Dang, they did it. Nice. I knew they were going to do it. Yeah.